Welcome friends, welcome to the Knowledge Club Online. Now I am going to discuss about the DNA replication all over. DNA replication is the process of producing two identical replicas from one original DNA molecule. This biological process occurs in all living organisms and is the basis for biological inheritance. DNA is made up of two strands, and each strand of the original DNA molecule serves as a template for the production of the complementary strand, a process referred to as semi-conservative replication. Cellular proofreadings and error-checking mechanisms ensure nearly perfect fidelity for DNA replication. In a cell, DNA replication begins at specific locations or origins of replication in the genome. Unwinding of DNA at the origin and synthesis of new strands results in replication forks growing bidirectional from the origin. A number of proteins are associated with the replication fork, which helps in terms of the initiation and continuation of DNA synthesis. Most prominently, DNA polymerase synthesizes the new DNA by adding complementary nucleotides to the template strand. DNA replication can also be performed in vitro, artificially outside a cell. DNA polymerase isolated from cells and artificial DNA primers can be used to initiate DNA synthesis at known sequences in a template DNA molecule. The polymerase chain reaction (PCR), a common laboratory technique, clinical applies such artificial synthesis to amplify a specific target DNA fragment from a pool of DNA. Copying genetic information for transmission to the next generation occur in S phase of cell cycle. Process of DNA duplicating itself begins with the unwinding of the double helix to expose the bases in each strand of DNA. Each unpaired nucleotide will attract a complementary nucleotide from the medium will form base pairing via hydrogen bonding. Enzymes link the aligned nucleotides by phosphodiester bonds to form a continuous strand. Experimental proof of semi-conservative replication, three possible models. Semi-conservative replication has the Watson and Crick model. Conservative replication and the parental double helix remains intact. Both strands of the dotted double helix are newly synthesized. Dispersive replication, at completion, both strands of the both double helix contain both the original and newly synthesized material. Now I come to the DNA replication processes. There are four main stages: initiation, when a portion of the double helix is unwound; elongation, when two new strands of DNA are assembled; termination, when the new DNA molecules reform into helices. The last one is proofreading, and correction occurs throughout the process to minimize the errors. Next I come to the enzymes part, the function in DNA replication. What are the enzymes required for the function in the DNA replication? First, the DNA helicase, also known as helix destabilizing enzyme, unwinds the DNA double helix at the replication fork. Next one is DNA polymerase, builds a new duplex DNA strand by adding nucleotides in the 5' to 3' direction. Also performs proofreading and error correction. There exist many different types of DNA polymerases, each of which perform different functions in different types of cells. Next one is DNA clamp, a protein which prevents the DNA polymerase tree from dissociating from the DNA parent strand. Single-stranded binding proteins, SSB protein, bind to DNA and prevent the DNA double helix from re-annealing after DNA helicase unwinds it, thus maintaining the strand separation and facilitating the synthesis of the nascent strand. The topoisomerase relaxes the DNA from its supercoiled nature. DNA gyrase relieves the strain of unwinding by DNA helicase. This is a specific type of topoisomerase. DNA ligase reanneal the semi-conservative strands and joins Okazaki fragments of the lagging strand. Primase provides a starting point of RNA or DNA for DNA polymerase to begin synthesis of a new DNA strand. At last, the telomerase lengthens the telomeric DNA by adding replicated nucleotide sequence to the ends of eukaryotic chromosomes. This allows germ cells and stem cells to avoid the Hayflick limit on cell division. Now I come to the initiation step, unwinding of the double helix. The summary was as a summary portion. The process of replication begins in the DNA molecule at thousands of sites called origin of replication. At these sites, which look like bubbles, the hydrogen bonds between the bases are broken and the paired bases separate. After a replication bubble has been opened, molecules of an enzyme called DNA polymerase insert themselves into the space between the two strands. The helix begins to pull apart or unwind. This unwinding of the helix is facilitated by an enzyme called helicase, which is a part of the replication complex, a group of enzymes and other proteins that take care of the replication process. There are two replication complexes at each origin of replication. As the unwinding continues, they move in opposite directions, creating two Y-shaped replication forks. Replication process in both directions until the bubbles meet. Next step is the elongation step, assembly of two new strands of DNA. DNA polymerase, which is the enzyme that inserts itself into the space between the two strands, attaches new nucleotides through the free 3' hydroxyl end. This imposes two conditions of the elongation process. First, the replication can only take place in the 5' and 3' direction leading strand, and second, a short strand or RNA known as a primer must be available to serve as a starting point for the attachment of new nucleotides. The primer simply gets the bases primed to receive new bases that will form the new DNA strand. During replication, much of the newly formed DNA is found in short fragments of 1 to 2,000 nucleotides in prokaryotes and a few hundred nucleotides in eukaryotes. These fragments are known as Okazaki fragments. These fragments occur during the elongation of the daughter DNA strand that must be built in the 3' to 5' direction. There are two strands during the replication process. They are leading strand and lagging strand. In leading strand, this is the strand in which the elongation process continuously proceeds in the 5' and 3' direction. The elongation proceeds in the same direction as the movement of the replication fork. And the lagging strand, this strand is manufactured more slowly than the leading strand. DNA polymerase adds nucleotides in fragments called Okazaki fragments, which are eventually spliced together by the enzyme DNA ligase. Replication of this strand takes place in the opposite direction to the movement of the replication fork. Another enzyme called primer synthesizes an RNA primer to begin the elongation process. Only one primer is needed on the leading strand. A new primer is needed for each Okazaki fragment on the lagging strand. The third step is the termination. Once the new strands are complete, the daughter DNA molecules revert automatically back to their original helix structure. The problem with the end of a linear chromosome with the RNA primer has been removed from the 5' end of each daughter strand. There is no adjacent fragment onto which a new DNA nucleotides can be added to fill the gap. The result is that each replication results in a slightly shorter daughter chromosome. Eukaryotes have special buffer zones called telomeres at the end of each chromosome to guard against this problem. These are highly repetitive nucleotide sequence typically rich in G nucleotides. These origins do not direct cell development. The last step, the fourth step, the proofreading and correction. This step of DNA replication ensures accuracy of replication. After each new nucleotide is added to a new DNA strand, DNA polymerase can recognize whether or not a hydrogen bonding is taking place between base pairs. Absence of hydrogen bonding indicates a mismatch. DNA polymerase exercises the incorrect base and then adds the correct nucleotide. This double check increases accuracy to a factor of which about 1 error per billion base pairs. This lecture may be helpful to you. Thank you.